everyone, welcome to this update video. I hope you're doing amazing. So we're going to be talking about what is going on across the North Atlantic Basin. So there is a tropical wave within the vicinity of the Lesser Antilles that has been bringing a lot of rain to the area. So even last night, this blob that we're seeing on the satellite was a lot more pronounced. So it was producing a lot of rain from areas as far as maybe even in parts of Dominica, Martinique, southward through Grenada, including Barbados, maybe even Tobago. So let me know what happened in your island if you were affected by this, because I was watching it yesterday throughout the evening and there was a lot of rainfall based on what radar was showing. So that blob is still there, not as strong as it was or pronounced as it was yesterday. However, it is still very much there and is likely producing some additional heavy rain in the area. So we're going to be talking about that, and we'll also be looking at the expectations as we're going to be heading down the road, because models are all hinting at additional development in the Caribbean. So here we go again. Let's get on with the details. As we look at this wide satellite imagery, here we can see what is happening. That blob in the Gulf you see, that's Rafael, which has now weakened to a tropical storm. So it's going to continue weakening as it loiters in the Gulf of Mexico, not bringing any direct impact in terms of a lot of heavy rain and those gusty winds, but it is certainly resulting in those rough seas offshore the Gulf Coast. And as for the Caribbean, there we can see all that activity associated with the tropical wave and even some more moisture in headed towards the vicinity of the central Caribbean, and that has even been resulting in a bit of action near the ABC Islands. So let me know if you guys have been receiving some rainfall from this. And for other areas such as Jamaica, there is going to be a little bit of an increase in moisture. Some areas are likely experiencing some passing showers this morning, so there's definitely going to be that chance of some heavy rainfall, especially as we head into later today. And towards Central America, for most areas, nothing much is happening. However, there is going to be a significant rain increase, which will affect the southern Central American territories. So let's talk more about that. Let's go on to that rainfall forecast. All right, here we go. And the more color we see indicates more rainfall activity. So this is a forecast through very early tomorrow morning. And there we can see all these very colorful shadings across the Lesser Antilles, Anguilla, all the way through Grenada, including Barbados, but not so much Trinidad and Tobago. So there's definitely that chance of additional heavy rainfall within the area. And again, there's a possibility that some areas are even flooded. And even those that are saturated now, if there's more heavy rainfall, then that is going to increase that chance of flooding. So again, let me know what happened for you. And if it is a case where you encounter any floodwaters, please do not take any unnecessary risks. ABC Islands, again, there is some moisture in the area, so you guys will have a pretty decent chance of experiencing some shower activity today. For the Guyanas, not really seeing much color, maybe some passing showers at the most, but nothing crazy today. It will be pretty dry for the most part. It's kind of the opposite for much of Venezuela, Colombia, and headed to southern Central America. So the southern part of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, there could be a lot of heavy rain today, probably exceeding up to 4 inches of rainfall in a few spots. So that's definitely flood triggering, and this is going to be something continuous within the area. So there is going to be somewhat of an extreme rainfall event. So guys, please stay safe as best as you can. Heading further north to parts of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and even Mexico, there could be some passing showers today, maybe a brief heavy downpour here and there, but nothing crazy is noted in the area right now. And as for the Cayman Islands, parts of central and western Cuba, and even the northern Bahamas, not a whole lot of rain expected. However, headed to parts of Jamaica, eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, there could be some periods of heavy rain, even for a few spots in Hispaniola, and especially as we head to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So it's going to be active for many of us today. And again, there's that tropical wave. And now as this tropical wave is going to continue drifting to the west, it is going to eventually help out to increase the moisture in the Western Caribbean. And that is going to boost the probability of seeing additional development. So an overall rainfall increase is expected in that area. And we could see our next tropical cyclone come from the Caribbean. Models have been hinting at it, as I had mentioned, and we're going to be taking a look at a couple of them in a moment. But as it relates to Rafael, just giving you guys a quick update on that. So it has been downgraded to a tropical storm with maximum sustained winds up to 65 miles per hour. So it is going to be moving very, very slowly in the Gulf. It's already moving quite slow to the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour. And because of the unfavorable conditions in the Gulf, it is going to continue weakening. By Monday, it could become post-tropical while drifting to the south and then the southwest. And by later in the week, it could approach the southern part of Mexico as a post-tropical cyclone. So that's what's expected. Rafael is not going to be an immediate concern for anyone in terms of any direct land impacts. But now we want to go ahead and talk about the models. So as I mentioned, again, that tropical wave is going to continue moving west. It will help out to increase the moisture, but an overall moisture increase is expected across the Western Caribbean. So we're going to be looking out into some different time frames, mostly for the latter part of next week. Let's go ahead and kickstart things with the Icon model. So this goes out to Saturday, the 16th of November, just a week out from now. And take a look at this. It is expecting that, hey, we could see something develop within the Western Caribbean. We see those black lines, which are called isobars, by the way. They're called isobars. They join areas of equal atmospheric pressure. When we see them in a circular manner with that value decreasing, that value highlighted in red where that L is, that is a sign of intensification. So Icon is showing that, hey, we could see development in the Western Caribbean as we head into the latter part of the coming week. Now, in the case where this frontal system is pretty much within the vicinity of it, it would help to influence the track of the system kind of more to the east-northeast. But if it is a case where an area of high pressure is going to be setting in when that system develops, let's look at the Canadian model. So here we have the Canadian model. We see that H for the high pressure area over the eastern US. Winds within an area of high pressure rotate in a clockwise fashion. So that is how they manage to steer these systems. So if it's the case where that happens, then this would make its way towards Central America. But the Canadian model is also showing that we could see something, maybe a depression or storm in the southwestern Caribbean next Saturday. As we go on to the Euro model, Euro is one of our more conservative models, and it is not showing anything defined, but it certainly has an increase in moisture, which is those green shadings you see that shows the precipitation rate. So Euro is most definitely anticipating that, but again, not showing anything defined at the time. GFS, interestingly, it doesn't show anything for next weekend. However, as we head through the following week, there's that area of high pressure and something trying to form in the South Caribbean. As we're going to be heading into Thursday the 21st, so that's not next Thursday, the following Thursday, pretty far out by the way, there's that frontal system coming down and you have something developing in the Western Caribbean. And in that case, with that front, it would move up to the northeast. So that is what the different models are expecting, all hinting at development in some way or another, whether it's just an increase in moisture that would allow an airflow pressure to try to form and materialize, such as what the Euro is showing, or that, hey, we could have a solid tropical storm out there at that time, which is what the Icon model is showing. Even the Canadian and the GFS model, though GFS has something developing in the following week and not necessarily within the same time frame as our other models. So overall, guys, I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing something else get itself together in the Caribbean. I'm expecting that before the end of the hurricane season. And the next name on the list for the season is Sierra. So depending on what forms and if it reaches tropical storm status, then it would acquire that name. The list is, it only has a few more names before it is officially exhausted. So let's see if 2024 wants to make a run for that. And let me remind you as well, the end of the hurricane season, the official end date is November 30th. That doesn't mean there will be nothing after November 30th. It's just the official end date. We've had storms in December, January, February, March, April, and May. So that doesn't guarantee that will be the end of the story for 2024. Hopefully that's the case, but it's not a guarantee. However, we'll talk more about that as the end of the season approaches. But for now, we have that strong tropical wave. There's Rafael in the Gulf, which is weakening, and I'll be keeping you guys posted. Again, if you should encounter any floodwaters today, please do not take any unnecessary risks and stay safe as best as you can. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will respond to you when I can, and remember to always be weatherwise.